Freedom's the answer. What's the question? You're listening to Ernest Hancock.
Don't stop me now. I'm having such a good time. I'm having a ball.
Yeah, don't stop me now, man. We're on the road, my good friend now. Oh, John Lott, man. I've always wanted to talk to him. This is really a big treat for me because we've used his book a lot. We have a website, secondamendmentisforeveryone.com, orgnet, whatever. Second Amendment is for everyone. And we started that in the mid-'90s. And when the book came out, we go, oh, he's our new best friend. Thank you very much. Now, I want to get to the economist side of John Lott's expertise here because I'll preface it this way. A couple days ago, we had my good friend, I used to be producer for, Charles Goyette. Now, he's the author, New York Times best-selling, translated into Chinese, Korean, and Indonesian, whatever the heck language that is, of The Dollar Meltdown. And as we were having our conversation, he made up this point, and I want to bring this up because this is what Obama had to say in his address. He said, I'm proposing domestic spending freeze over 5 years to reduce the deficit by $400 billion over the next decade. Not the debt, the deficit over the next decade, $400 billion. And what that brought to mind was Charles said, he goes, when the Republicans came out and they said, we're going to cut the debt by, or the deficit by $100 billion. And he goes, yeah, okay. Well, let's go ahead and see how long it takes before our debt goes up another $100 billion. Less than a week. A week. It went up $100 billion means nothing. And Obama wants to do this over a decade, $400 billion a week. And I'm going, with the municipal bonds coming, they're getting evaluated, this month. And it's going to be, they're going to want more taxes to fully fund their pension funds and all this other stuff. It's over. It is so over. John, tell me how it's not going to be over.
Well, just on the first thing about the spending, we've just had a huge, the discretionary spending's increased 82% in just the last couple of years. And so to have a freeze now for 5 years after that increase, it's still going to be way above what it otherwise would have been if Obama hadn't had the big increase. But secondly, he's proposing all sorts of new programs that appear to be exempt from the freeze. And so, and in fact, if you add together all the spending as well as the freeze, he's still going to be increasing spending about $20 billion this next year, higher than it would have been.
Yeah, and how's that Republican-controlled Senate and House going to deal with this? How's that going to work?
Well, the Republicans only control the House. The Democrats still control the Senate. But they want to return discretionary spending back to where it was prior to 2008.
What's the numbers in the Senate? What's the split in the Senate?
The Democrats have 43 seats, and the Republicans have 53 to 47 Democrats.
So you can see, even with the House, a majority after the Tea Party, invasion of Washington and all this, is that really going to make a difference? It is the financial situation of the dollar even repairable? Do we have any hope whatsoever that we're not going to go in to QE 47 and the dollar's done? Tell me how it's not done.
Right. Well, obviously I think there is a risk of some inflation. I don't think it's going to be huge, though. You have to look at the broader measures of money supply, and, maybe you're talking about a 6%, 7% inflation rate, which obviously isn't good. But, the notion has been that they are going to kind of stimulate the economy by increasing the price level. The problem is the only way that works is by making people make mistakes, so that firms think that there's greater demand for their products than it really is, that people think that they're getting paid higher wages than they really are because they see the higher wage offer and they don't realize that the prices of the goods and services that they buy are also going to be going up. And so their real wages aren't rising, but you get people to take jobs and to do other things that they only are doing because they're making a mistake. And and that makes us poor. And then when people realize that they took the wrong jobs, then they have to go and look again for employment.
The price of corn has gone up 88% over the last year. We have wheat has gone up 114% over the last year. Energy is going to go up. More food's going to go up. It's done. I want you to address.
No, but you have to look at prices in general. You have to look at all prices. If you have an inflation rate of 2%, if something goes up 80%, then something else is falling. And we've had drops, obviously, in the price of homes have gone down. We've had home prices are 24% below what they were 2 years ago.
Which represents the net worth of many Americans. I mean, I agree. I say let it go, man. Let it go. I can go pick. My son, he's 23. Married, 2 kids. He just bought a nice 3-bedroom, 2-bath, Phoenix, a nice neighborhood with a pool. I was like $65,000, or 85. It was less. And I'm going, I think it was 85. And I go, wow. I mean, and I think that he has a monthly bill of $600 a month as his payment. And I said, that's a great deal, and it's a low interest rate. And maybe that's a good reason to get it now, but I guarantee you're locked into that because that house is going to be worth $20,000 less another year from now. I just want you to know this. And he's like, yeah, Dad, but, it works for me. And I go, okay, fine, just so long. FYI, it's going to keep going down. So I need to, John, you're an economic PhD, man. I need to know, how is it that the local municipalities are going to fully fund their retirement programs with all of these municipal employees? How is that going to happen?
Well, I'm sure you're right. There's going to be some new taxes. They're going to be doing it. Hopefully, they'll cut back on the benefits and make a lot of these employees have to go and start funding. I mean, it's only in the government do you still get defined benefit as compared to defined contribution. Any company that you're going to be working for is going to have a defined contribution retirement program where you get what you put in. And but government employees, a lot of government employees don't even have to put in anything, but they're guaranteed or very small percentage of the amount that's going to be going into their funds there. But they're guaranteed certain levels of benefits when they retire, a certain percentage of their income.
Oh no, I'm not a big fan of the benefit package that they're getting. That's that's done. But it's more than that. It's the people that believe that investing in a municipal bond was a safe haven. It was a place to put your money. Well, it's not. And when that goes, there's going to be a whole another segment of society, of retirees, of investment, money markets, whatever. That's going to go. I'm wondering how it is that you're looking at a year, even a year, 2 years before the 2012 presidential election cycle. What is going to be here we are on record in the archive. How is the economic situation of the United States of America going to be a year, 2 years from now?
Well, these are long-term problems. I'm not sure, they're bad problems, but they're not going to necessarily come to a head for a lot of places right now. I mean, these are obligations that they have 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now. And so, some municipalities might go into default now. The states have certain obligations to kind of make people whole in many respects. So that's just going to, and states can't go bankrupt. What it may mean is the amount of money that the state governments spend on a lot of their programs, which I believe you would think are wasted anyway, would have to go to fund these liabilities that are there. So, I mean, that's not good, and they'll raise taxes. And that's not good either. But, I don't think it's good, but it's something that's going to be bad over a long period of time as opposed to necessarily coming to some dramatic head in the next year or two.
Yeah, I bet they were saying the same thing about Egypt. And in Tunisia, when a guy finally can't get any help, he just sets himself on fire, and it starts a revolution. You want a worldwide government? Well, I give you worldwide love-olution. Hey, it's been a pleasure having you on, John. It's been a real treat for me. And, my passion on this, because I just know what's coming. It's going to get bad.
People care.
I'm sorry?
Oh, thank you. It's important that you care. It's important that people care. These are real problems.
Oh, yeah, I care. I got 4 kids, 2 grandkids. I care. And plus, I'd like to be free, too, in my lifetime. Thanks to John Lott for coming on. John, L-O-T-T. Google him. He explodes all over your browser. We'll be right back here on Declare Your Independence with me, Ernest Hancock from Phoenix, Arizona, here on the LRN.FM radio from the beautiful studios of Freedoms with an S, freedomsphoenix.com. We'll be right back. Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. Readers of freedomsphoenix.com are constantly provided the information that detail the real news between the lines of propaganda about government policies and the true relationship we all have with coercive governments. Learn the true condition of our economy, innovations and technological breakthroughs in energy, health, computer science, and space travel. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media, the media that is so last century. Corporate media has evolved into nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but we now have a fantastic alternative. FreedomsPhoenix.com provides constant news updates on the issues that affect our lives in the most important ways. Our liberty and our property are under constant attack, and FreedomsPhoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda while encouraging the participation of our readers. Join us at FreedomsPhoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, Phoenix.com. FreedomsPhoenix.com, where the revolution between the ears has already matured.